On 18th May 2023, a Nairobi High Court ordered for the freezing of all personal bank accounts registered under the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, Anne Atieno Amadi, her son Brian Ocheng Amadi, and two others over an alleged gold scam. Justice David Majanja directed that no withdrawals should be made in the mentioned bank accounts without approval from the courts. But what Kenyans did not know is who had deposited the said amount of money totaling to 60,833,056 shillings in the bank accounts registered under the names of CRJ Anne Atieno Amadi, and what was the deal behind the transaction. K24 TV's Crime and Investigations Desk went further to trail the source of the funds and the fraudulent activities that surrounded the entire scheme, involving two Liberians, two British business partners, and a Kenyan. The deal was sealed in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Documents in our possession point to a well-calculated scheme that was put in motion on 16 March 2021 at Emirates Towers Hotel in Dubai, UAE. The underhands in the deal was to have the two British nationals defrauded of millions of shillings in a purported gold business in Kenya. Two Liberians who spearheaded the transaction were aware of the intended plans by the British nationals to buy gold. They would then advise them to help them secure a good deal within Kenya. One of the documents we obtained, which we believe was a statement by the main complainant, Demetrius Bradshaw, a British national and a resident in Dubai, states that he is the director of Bratton Gold Trading LLC, a limited company incorporated in Dubai. He further alleges that he was defrauded $627,406 United States dollars and 48 cents. Through an introduction by a Liberian identified as Mr. Edward Taylor, they entered into a transaction to export 1,500 kilograms of gold bars, allegedly owned by the Liberian and his family, from Kenya to Dubai. The export was to be facilitated by a company by the name Universal Global Logistics UGL. Bradshaw says alongside his co-director were introduced to a Kenyan identified as Mr. Daniel Muridhi, who apparently was an officer of UGL, the company behind the gold deal in Kenya. Bradshaw continues to note that in the year 2021, they were invited to Nairobi with his co-director at a house along Marula Lane in Karen, which was branded UGL. At the villa, they met with Daniel Muridhi, where they were taken to a smelting facility within the compound and were shown what appeared to be gold pellets. He says after the viewing, Muridhi informed them that they did not have funds to cater for the export costs that would need to be paid in Kenya, and requested assistance from the British nationals to meet the cost. As part of the deal, the two British nationals were taken through an examination on at least 10 pellets of the sample product, which turned positive for gold. It was further agreed that ownership of the gold will be transferred into the British nationals' company name as part of their security. This was to be done allegedly through East African Customs Management change of ownership certificates, which were to be paid for. The British nationals also claimed they were provided with a certificate of origin and a mineral export license as part of the purchasing process. The scheme had taken a sharp twist and someone was at the brink of being conned unknowingly. To make the entire transaction a success, Mr. Muridhi had already made contact with the Anne Amadi's law firm, which he could use as part of their conspiracy to seek legal services for the gold deal. Perhaps he knew very well the firm, being connected with the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, would pass test of trust for the foreigners. As events unfolded, the two British nationals were requested to reach out to a Mr. Andrew Njenga Kiare of Amadi and Associates Advocates, who would offer legal services in the would-be transaction. This is where Anne Amadi's name got dragged into the gold syndicate. We contacted Andrew Njenga Kiare seeking clarification on his encounter with Daniel Muridhi and if they ever met over the alleged gold transaction to Dubai. The advocate revealed to us he only encountered Muridhi sometime in the year 2021 when Muridhi was seeking legal services at Amadi's law firm. He says Muridhi requested for a contact to reach the law firm in case he needed their legal services. Sometime later, the law firm would receive a call from the mentioned British foreigners, followed by an email requesting legal services. The British nationals wanted to have an escrow agreement between Bratton Gold Trading LLC and Universal Global Logistics East Africa, which would initiate payments and transfer of the gold to Dubai. Andrew Njenga declined to give more information on what transpired thereafter, but referred us to their lawyer, saying all details pertaining the issue were with him. We reached out to their lawyer for further clarification, but still he declined to comment on the matter, arguing that it was before a court of law. However, he agreed with the facts we had brought to his attention. We further obtained crucial documents which had been filed in court on the matter. Part of the documents was an escrow agreement. It was made on 15 October 2021 between Bratton Gold Trading LLC, represented by Demetrius Bradshaw and Amadi and Associates Advocates. The terms and conditions of a business involvement between Bratton Gold Trading LLC, belonging to the two British nationals, and Universal Global Logistics East Africa, allegedly owned by Mr. Daniel Muridhi. In the agreement, the two parties never revealed the nature of business they were transacting. It was through this escrow agreement an escrow account was agreed upon. The account would see an agreed amount of money deposited into it by the buyers of the gold. The amount would only be disbursed in bits to the seller upon written authorization to offer logistics services for the transfer of the consignment to Dubai, as per directions captured via emails in our possession. To facilitate shipment of the gold from Kenya to Dubai, UGL needed money to generate clearance certificates for the cargo. Among certificates claimed were an ICGLR certificate, a mineral export permit, clearance certificates from East Africa Community Customs Management, change of ownership certificates, among others. This forced the two British nationals to release funds for this facilitation. Figures captured in emails and bank statements show that a total of about 60,833,056 shillings was deposited in the bank account captured in the escrow agreement for the purchase of the gold. A breakdown extracted from the bank statements shows how much was deposited by the two British nationals through an Eras DWC LLC bank in Dubai to Amadi and Associates Advocates bank account in Kenya for the transaction as per the escrow agreement. On 22nd September 2021, 192,790 USD was deposited in the bank account as a first payment towards the sale of the gold. The entire transaction was finalized on 19 October 2021 with yet another deposit of 259,990 USD. In the same bank account, there was another deposit of 5,190 USD, which we were told it was a refund to Amadi's law firm as an advance payment towards Daniel Muridhi. After receiving the payment for the purchase and shipment of the gold, Daniel Muridhi shared an official receipt he signed on 10 November 2021 to Bratton Gold LLC as a clearance leeway and ready to release the consignment from Kenya. The whole amount was withdrawn and allegedly paid to Daniel Muridhi in cash. But why? And just as a scripted movie, on Friday the 8th October 2021 at about 2:36 p.m. the shipment was ready at JKIA. An alleged invoice from Kenya Airways Cargo with details of the shipment was sent to Demetrius Bradshaw in Dubai, with a tracking number to help him monitor the progress of the shipment. In a turn of events before the consignment would leave Kenya, a man identified in court papers as Rufus Yaha came with a court order allegedly stopping the said shipment. The details of the orders were that Rufus Yaha, being the applicant and part of the deal to have the gold sold to Bratton Gold Trading LLC in Dubai, was not involved in the entire transaction process. He further claimed that the buyers of the gold had unpaid balance, which is stood to lose should the consignment leave Kenya. The alleged injunction brought to halt the entire process until concerns raised were addressed. The same information was passed to the directors of Bratton Gold Trading LLC in Dubai, raising eyebrows, since in the first agreement the two British nationals never revealed what kind of a transaction they were engaged in when they were in Kenya. They then opted to have the matter settled out of court to avoid losing their investment. The British nationals found themselves in between a rock and a hard place, since more money was needed to complete the transaction and they were at the risk of losing because they did not have an agreement indicating they were purchasing the gold. Remember, in their escrow agreement, they never revealed the nature of the business they were transacting for unknown reasons. It dawned upon the British nationals that they might have been conned. To salvage the damage, they contacted Victor Lee advocates to act on their behalf and offer legal services in pursuit of the matter, which was in Kenya. The matter having taken place at UGL offices within Karen in Nairobi, the advocates attempted filing a formal report at Karen police station, but they were turned away when officers at the station demanded to interrogate the complainant, who was in Dubai. It is alleged the directors of Bratton Gold Trading LLC were also threatened to be exposed for their alleged underhand dealings if they reported the matter to police. Without giving up, the entire process had to be choreographed, and eventually a formal complaint on the alleged fraud was reported by Victor Lee advocates at Kiambu Police Station in Kiambu under Police OB number 25/12 of February 2022. OCS Kiambu Police Station Stephen Wainaina assigned Inspector Wambani to investigate the case. Questions, however, emerged: why did the OCS allow this case be reported and investigated at Kiambu Police Station without the investigating officer having met the complainant, and the fact that the offense took place within Karen as the jurisdiction? A keen look at the OB number, we also realized the actual amount being claimed in the OB report had been altered. Investigations into the matter continued as detectives based at the station were enjoined in the probe. Detectives had to find a way of recording statements from the British nationals who were complainants and were in Dubai. Officers would later retrieve details of the bank account where the British nationals had channeled their money to. The bank account at ABC Bank was registered under Amadi and Associates. With the help of our sources, we also managed to retrieve statements for the bank account in question. A look at the account: it was opened by Amadi's law firm on 10th June 2020 as a client's account. In a letter dated 9th June 2020, Anne Atieno Amadi wrote to ABC Bank Greenhouse branch requesting to have the said bank account opened with the bank. She stated, "I have since left private practice and therefore exempted from holding a practicing certificate. However, I have appointed Brian Amadi and Andrew Njenga Kiare as signatories to the said bank account." She further stated the mandate of the account shall be both of the signatories of the account to sign. By virtue of this letter, transactions in the bank accounts were the mandate of the two signatories. This forced detectives to summon Brian Amadi and Andrew Njenga for statement recording. Documents concerning the entire transaction were availed as detectives began a manhunt for a man who had turned a suspect, one Daniel Ndegwa Kangara, alias Daniel Muridhi, who was now missing. At the same time, Victor Lee advocates were in hot pursuit to have a refund for the funds deposited in the bank account linked to Anne Atieno Amadi and be refunded to their client, the two British nationals in Dubai, which proved futile. A year later, Daniel Muridhi emerged. He allegedly contacted the two directors of Bratton Gold Trading LLC, instructing them to get in touch with yet another man identified in court papers as Johnson Mushai Njoroge, who would facilitate the shipment of their consignment that had been stopped in Kenya. Supposedly, the court case which halted the shipment had been finalized. Unknown to him, detectives at Kiambu Police Station were on his trail as a trap to have him arrested was set. Meanwhile, Johnson Mushai Njoroge continued to pile pressure on the two British business partners to come to Kenya and finalize the deal so as to have their gold shipment ready. A meeting was staged through their representative in Kenya, which involved police officers. Mushai met the representative of the two British nationals and took them to an office along Lenana Road in Nairobi's Milimani, where the deal was to be sealed. Officers who were on standby pounced on Mushai, arresting him and 7 other suspects who were found in the premises. At the premises, motor vehicles which had been used to ferry the two directors of Bratton Trading LLC from JKIA when they arrived in Kenya in the year 2021 to meet Daniel Muridhi were impounded. Gold smelting machines and suspected gold pellets were also recovered. The impounded motor vehicles were taken to Milimani Police Station under the command of DCIO Kiambu East as the 7 suspects got detained at Kiambu Police Station. Upon the arrest of Johnson Mushai Njoroge, officers heightened their operation in the hunt against Daniel Muridhi. A raid at a house within Amara Ridge in Karen saw the arrest of Muridhi as officers recovered a number of exhibits as attached in their court submission. Custom documents he had used to dupe the British foreigners were recovered, among other critical documents which formed part of the evidence. During this time, DCIO Kiambu East, under unclear circumstances, allegedly ordered for the release of all motor vehicles, which had been detained at Milimani police station as exhibits, as well as the release of the 7 suspects arrested alongside Mushai at Milimani. Yeah. Daniel Muridhi and Johnson Mushai will be left in custody at Kiambu police station and later be released with a cash bail as investigators plan to have them charged. It is unclear why it took several months for the two to be presented in court. Daniel Ndegwa Kangara, alias Daniel Muridhi, was charged on 14th March 2023 at Kiambu Law Courts. He was accused to have defrauded the Metro's Bradshaw of Bratton Gold Trading LLC a sum of 64,654,700 shillings by pretending he was in a position to sell him gold. He also faced other charges related to forgery, where he was accused of forging a court order claiming to be a genuine document, stopping the shipment of the alleged gold. On his part, Johnson Mushai Njoroge was charged on 25th April 2023 at the same Kiambu Law Courts, where he faced charges related to conspiracy to defraud. As the criminal case in Kiambu Court continued, an advocate identified in court documents as Murage Juma and Company Advocates, acting on behalf of Bratton Gold Trading LLC, made a step to file a civil suit against Anne Atieno Amadi of Amadi and Associates at Milimani High Court. In his demands, the applicant sought orders to have Anne Amadi, the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary and as the registered proprietor of Amadi and Associates bank accounts, be frozen for alleged money laundering and fraudulent activities leading to fraud. When asked how he obtained the police documents which were at Kiambu police station to file his civil suit, Murage had this to say.
As I said, if you look at our pleadings that were filed in that suit,
yes,
there are 2 ongoing criminal matters.
Yes.
And all the documents that were relied on in the civil suit form part of the court record and the public record in those two criminal proceedings.
Yes.
So if you want to access them, you can get them there.
We also learned Amadi's law firm had written to the Inspector General of Police Japhet Kome, seeking a clarification on how documents which were being used in this case landed in the hands of a civilian from Kiambu police station. Our efforts to have a response over the same proved futile. Upon hearing the matter, Justice David Majanja gave orders freezing the said bank accounts which were linked to CRJ Anne Atieno Amadi. But the law firm will appeal the ruling and the same bank accounts were unfrozen in a virtual ruling dated 9th June 2023 by Justice Alfred Mabeya.
In the present case, the evidence is clear that Anne Atieno Amadi ceased to practice as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya in 2014 when she was appointed the CRJ. She communicated this fact to the Law Society of Kenya. However, the problem is that she left that law firm to continue to be under active management of the second and third defendant. The two are the ones who are actively involved in the receipt, withdrawal, and disbursement of the said funds. Save for Anne Atieno Amadi being the proprietor of the said firm, there is nothing on record to show that she was part of or she did actively or otherwise participate in the whole scheme of things leading to the present lawsuit.
It has, however, remained unclear who was targeting the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, having in regard the ruling by Justice Alfred Mabeya which failed to reveal any criminal demeanor or unlawful conduct involving the CRJ in the entire transaction process. The court, however, ruled signatories of the said bank accounts have a case to answer on what transpired leading to the gold fraud and loss of the over 60 million involving the 2 British nationals. The lawyer representing the foreigners in the criminal suit was contacted to have a word over the progress of the case, but he had little to say. As part of our report, do you guys have something else that you can be willing to present apart from what you presented in the court documents?
Perhaps you can allow us to seek instructions and see if there's any further information our client would wish us to provide, but at present they have not instructed us to give any additional comments or information.
Both the civil and the criminal matters are pending before a court of law as the wheels of justice continue turning. Franklin Wala for the Crime Beat.